नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं. Can someone recollect anything that we saw? We form the link
Krishna,
and
I
we'll go
think,
ahead.
said something yesterday which was
Yes, Gita.
related to the discussion you had just now about
Ji.
offerings. He said some people make offerings just for the sake of offering. A ritual hai, kar rahe hain, sab log to karenge. But there are others who actually make those offerings as they are what things they have received from the divine, and they have given themselves as well as those offerings actually back to the divine. So for them, it makes a big difference that it is done without any desire for return or to show somebody or anything. It is
Consciously done.
consciously done.
Ji, absolutely. There's a beautiful shloka, isn't it? That
Mm.
where Krishna has told that Shreyan Dravya Mayad Yajnad Jnana Yajna Parantapa. Greater than Dravya Yajna. He is the Yajna, means doing something just because somebody is told to do it. Better than that is knowing why it is done, isn't it?
Yeah.
Becoming conscious when you understand, you will do it better. It is so simple as that. There's a very interesting story of a mother. She is having a child and she's going to a particular darshana. There are so many people in front of her. Now she has to wait for her line, and there's a child with her. Now the child is not in her control, and the child wants to attend to nature's call. And the mother does not know what to do. And so, what to do? The mother says, listen, just sit down here. I'll cover you with my pallu, do it here only. And I don't want, if I leave the line, I will not get it. But now, after that is done, she's still worried what will other people say. So she put little haldi and kunku on top of it. And she went ahead, got her wonderful darshana. When she came back, she saw there was a mountain of haldi and kunku and garlands being offered at that particular place. What has happened here? Why? Well, unconsciously, one shouldn't do anything. You have the right in Sanatana Dharma. You can ask questions. You can ask questions, you can understand, but let it be a seeker's question. Let the question be with a purpose to learn and grow, not as skeptics, because that just goes in circle. It's of no use at all. So become conscious, Krishna says, because ultimately the purpose of sacrifice, the purpose of scriptural reading. What is the purpose of scriptural reading? To understand the scriptures, to live the scriptures, to become liberated in life only, isn't it? Imagine I'm conducting some meditation classes and I'm quite successful in that, and having so many people who are attending those meditation classes, and everybody's saying, oh, I got an experience, I got that, and what a calm, peaceful experience. The moment meditation class is over, I'm using profanities or I'm scolding and I'm having no control over my anger. What is the use, isn't it? I'm not living the scripture. I'm not understanding the principle, and this will be unsustainable. It will one time or other the mask will fall off. The same thing is there with our sadhana also. It has to be integrated into our everyday life. Understand why you are doing things. Do it with a clarity, is what Krishna says. Not just driven by some factor because somebody is doing, because somebody said so. So let's continue. Yes, any other points that anybody can recollect, and we move ahead. One thing Shobhaji had shared. Any other point? Yes, please. One more and we'll move ahead.
All the sacrifices, whether it's pranayam or regulation of food or knowledge or material sacrifice, they go into the
LR
same
call at
Brahman.
9:30.
Yeah, yes, Mehtaji, they all?
They all go into the same, this Brahman
Yes,
receives it. Yeah, there's one.
yes, the
Oh,
same Brahman.
okay.
Yes, yes. Brahmarpanam Brahma Havir Brahmagno Brahmana Hutam Brahmaivatena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhinam. They all become one. They merge into that Brahman. The actions also become Brahmic actions when they are conscious. And that is why people choose so many paths. People go on different paths, but they are reaching the same truth. It's just like how in the Upanishads also. So many Upanishads are there, so many styles are there in each Upanishad. Stories, riddles, explanations, and some metaphysical explanations, all of that is there. But ultimately, they're all talking about the Brahman. They're all teaching that same truth of the Brahman. That is how all of these offerings also, the spirit of that is to get the realization. That should not be forgotten. Then we also saw about why Krishna went to Sandipani Ashram, isn't it? Why did he go there? Because it is required when you are having this, when you need a guide, you need somebody in life, and you have to serve and you have to question also. And what is going to happen in return? They are just going to grant you the knowledge that they have received. It is going to be like, what does the Guru take? The Guru does not take anything literally, actually. My Guruji Damleji was very worried and when he was very young. When he met somebody and that person gave him good advice, but was scared what will be the Guru Dakshina. And immediately he put his hand into the pocket. He was a small boy that time, and I have only this much. And he started laughing. That Guru started laughing. He said, I'm not taking that, I'm going to take something bigger. And he got scared, but ultimately he said, he asked for, I want your Kama, Krodha, Mada, Moha, Matsar, the Shadripus. Give them to me. Because that is the role. The catalyst does not get changed at all. In a chemical equation, in chemistry, anybody must have studied. What is the role of the catalyst? Anyone? Yes, Nidhi. Yeah,
To
Yeah, yes,
fasten the reaction, to
to
increase the
fasten the
speed of the
reaction.
reaction.
Yes. What happens to the catalyst in the end? It remains inert, isn't it? Reactant becomes a product, but the catalyst is the same as before. So that is exactly what the Guru does. The Guru transforms without really taking anything else. So even the Guru Dakshina that is received is actually in spirit for the growth of the Shishya, not really for the sake of the Guru. That is one important thing we understand here. Krishna says, what happens then when you get that knowledge? You see the oneness. Oneness where? Oneness in the universe. You're able to see oneness in all living things. This is a very important realization which must be got. Later on in the Gita also we'll see. Imagine Arjuna has to see oneness and fight Duryodhana. He has to see oneness, he has to see divinity and yet perform his duty without forgetting that they are all one. What difference will it make? It will remove the hatred from his heart. And that is the biggest principle. We have to remove the hatred, otherwise we become what we can say instruments of Kali. In this Kali Yuga, that is the easiest way to lose our touch with divinity. It is just by cultivating hatred in our hearts. So Krishna goes on. He says, we continue with the 36th shloka. अशेषाणि अपि चेदसि पापेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः पापकृत्तमः सर्वं ज्ञानप्लवेनैव वृजनं सन्तरिष्यसि. Even a sinner who has the greatest sin performed, by this knowledge, the sinner can be reformed. Surpassing the sea of wickedness, he shall pass through. Boarding the ship of knowledge, he'll cross a horizon new. I repeat once more. Even a sinner who has the greatest sin performed, by this knowledge, the sinner can be reformed. Surpassing the sea of wickedness, he shall pass through. Boarding the ship of knowledge, he will cross a horizon new. This is the potential. Even the worst sinner can be transformed. Anybody has heard of Vali or Valya, the dacoit? Maybe not everybody. Some, but Rishi Valmiki, yes.
Yes.
Anybody knows how what the story
Yeah.
behind Rishi Valmiki, how he was in the past? Anyone? If you can share something?
See, I don't know, but it is said Valyaचा Valmiki झाला.
Yeah, that is one of the biggest transformations in Maharashtra. They say oh, Valya became Valmiki. Is Shobhaji saying something? Yes, please.
no, same thing.
Okay, Jayji was saying something. Yes, sir.
Yeah, he was a robber,
Yeah.
and he witnessed, I think, the hunter killing a bird, and I think Ma Nishada. That he came up with a poem at that point in time, and then of course he sat in an anthill and did a
Okay.
meditation, and then
The
became
story of,
Valmiki.
I think it was Narada who had met him or something, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
Narad
Yes,
was.
that's also a tale associated with him.
Yes.
Yes, Shweta ji is adding something? Yes, please.
Yeah, the story that I remember is about he meeting Narad, and since by profession he was a thief or robber or something like
Yeah, he was
so
a
he
thief. Hmm.
yeah, so he tried to rob him. So Narad just asked him, like, why are you doing this? So he said, I'm doing it for my family. So then he
Hmm.
asked him, go ask your family that when you serve for your sins and you're punished, will they be able to
Take a
be with
share of
you
that
and take
punishment.
a share of that? So then he went home and he asked them, and everybody had their own logic and reason to say,
Reason, isn't it? The
I have
parents
not done it, so
said we are
yeah.
too old. Parents said we are too old.
Yeah.
Wife said I never asked you to do
Exactly.
this kind of work for me.
Right.
She was taking all the what we can say makhan
Benefits of it,
benefits,
yeah.
but she says I
But
don't
yeah,
want
she was
any
like, yeah, this karma
liabilities.
is not mine. So like,
No, no, this is your karma. The papa
yeah.
is yours. I didn't have any say in it.
Yes. So
Then he turns
eventually,
to the
yeah.
children. His children also look, Papa, we didn't have a choice at all. You only
Hmm.
did all of this.
Hmm.
And he was shocked. He said, for all who I am doing this, I know it is not right, but I was doing it for my wife and for my children and my aged parents. Actually, he goes to his aged parents last, I think. And they also refuse. They also refuse. They've got benefits, but they are refusing to take this consequences, the karmic
Hmm.
consequences they don't want to bear. That is when he realizes, Kido, this is not something I want to do it. And that was the transformation. That is the power of knowledge. When a person realizes what is the purpose of punishment, what is the purpose of incarceration, prison, why are criminals sent to prison? Main reason is what? Anybody? Yes, Mitaji.
Transformation.
To reform.
Reformation.
Transformation, for reformation. It's a chance. It's a chance. Whether or not they take it, it is up to the individual. But that is the system. That is the purpose. Because that
To
is the
atone,
second.
right?
Yes, yes, to atone, to repent if they realize, and because that is important. The enemy is not the individual, but the wrong tendency inside of the individual. Sant Jnaneshwar had very beautifully in his Pasayadan prayer, universal prayer, he had very nicely used these words. Duritanche timirazao. Let the ignorance of the wrongdoer disappear. What happens when the ignorance disappears inside of the wrongdoer? Anybody?
Enlightenment. He
Yes.
enlightenment.
Yes, isn't it? The person becomes transformed. Is no more a sinner. That ignorance is gone. Why will I do something unnecessary? A drunkard decides I don't want this alcohol anymore. The realization has come. I am losing my connect with life. I am losing my connect with people. I am losing my connect with what matters most. Transformation. It is said, the Buddha has said, according to various quotes attributed to the Buddha, that we are all one spark away from realization. That spark has to come, but when that is a spark of knowledge, that realization must come to us. And when it comes, everybody can get transformed. That's what Krishna is saying. There's nobody who's so hopeless that cannot be transformed. This is a beautiful, it allows us to understand that there is a potential of transformation embedded in everybody. Sometimes we get very disappointed. We get very sometimes depressed also by looking at some people. Why are they like this? How much selfish can people be? How wrong can people be? It's all right. It can hurt. It is emotionally draining. All of that aside. Yet remember, there is always a potential. Our job is not to awaken the potential. We have not taken the, you know, take off. Vishwaguru have not taken that title. We have not taken it. When somebody comes to us, you can always offer an advice. But understand that if the divine wills, anything can be possible, keeping that in abeyance. is enough in our head also. Just we don't have to draw a judgment. Just transformation is possible for everyone. That is all we have to think in our heads. Do not close the chapter, but that does not mean you must go and hug Duryodhan and call Shakuni only to your home for food. It's a different story at all. We cannot lose our. There are principles. Each kshetra has different rules. We'll see that later. But this is important. Even the worst sinner can get transformed. How many of us have hunted people, or how many of us have done thievery? How many of us have stolen things from people? How many of us have injured people? Anybody here? If yes, I would request you don't have to go on record and share what you have stolen. At least you just give that up, because I think we have not done this much. If Valya can become the great Maharshi, Valmiki, I think we have greater potential, isn't it? We have not done such great karmas which are very negative. But if he can also get transformed, I think we definitely have plenty of potential for transformation. Forget others' transformation, our own transformation into what is the higher, divine version of ourselves. It is very much possible, very much within our reach. Probably we only have to take the step to grab it. It is there. This is something very beautiful in this shloka, because I was really thinking I'm the last person who will get transformed. When I was in college also, I never thought anything a possibility. I just knew I'm like this. Nothing can change. And I remember I did not know anything about Adhyatma. Only I knew about Ravana and this Tandav Stotra. So I was like, Ravana has done so many bad things. But he could get a chance. He got a darshana. So I thought, I will at least keep this stotra. Let me at least learn this. So maybe at least. And I was like, मुझे negative role though chalega, but give me some role. I need to figure out what's my role in life. But this is a beautiful shloka which says potential is there for everybody. That means we are not inherently undivine, or we don't have anything to be so guilty about. We may have done something wrong. Let's realize it. Let's come to terms with it. When we accept it, when we realize it, when we realize we are wrong, that's the first step for transformation. It's accepting it. That acceptance is important, and the potential is there for everyone. Let us never, underestimate ourselves or anybody. Let's continue. Krishna goes on. He says, यथैधांसि समिद्धोऽग्निर्भस्मसात् कुरुतेऽर्जुन ज्ञानाग्नि सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा. O Arjuna, just like when an inferno blazes, everything its fire consumes, burns, and raises. The fire of ethereal knowledge, everything burns. Every actions and works into ashes it thus turns. Krishna says here, just like how an inferno is burning. Everything, what does the inferno do? Everything on its path is just burnt. Burnt to what? Burnt to ashes. It becomes bhasma. Well, it is just like that. The fire of ethereal knowledge. Everything burns. Every actions and works into ashes. It thus turns. Meaning everything ultimately becomes bhasma in this knowledge. This fire of knowledge. This aspect, the symbolism of fire is very interesting. It is there in the Rig Veda, in the very first sukta of the Veda. And how is fire connected to knowledge? Anybody?
It burns
It burns
ignorance.
the ignorance.
Yeah, okay, it burns. This fire also burns the twigs and all everything that is having this potential of burning. Well, like that, this fire of knowledge can burn ignorance. The symbolism of fire is for dispelling darkness. Fire, darkness is again connected with ignorance. So if you look at the physical action of fire itself, it is purifying also. They say, I mean, gold is already so pure. Gold can be purified in fire. What a beautiful aspect of fire. If you look at the first sukta of the Rig Veda, Agnim mire purohitam yajnasyam devaratvajam hotaram ratnadhatamam. Fire is said to be the first purohit, the priest of the sacrifice, the giver of the seven jewels, the giver of the powers of the hero ways. That is how the Agni Sukta begins. Why is the fire the priest? He is also the harbinger, he is also the inviter of the other gods. Why? Because what is this? How does the fire move? Down to up, isn't it? It is like that. That is also the aspiration inside of a human. They call the flame of aspiration. So many songs, you see the word fire is introduced to what? It shows some kind of Agni, isn't it? Whichever part of the world you go, even movies, you see Indian movies, you see movies across the world. Everywhere it will be the same symbolism. Give me freedom, give me fire. That's a song. It was for a football anthem. Why will anybody want fire? They're not trying to bake rats. That fire is again the same fire of knowledge when it enters. And then there's in the same Agni Sukta, there's a beautiful line. Sanap pite vasuna vegne supayano bhava sajasvanas swastaye. Oh Agni, let me reach the divine like a father reaches the son reaches the father with ease. Agni is the connector. I mean, when a son wants to meet a father, does the son have to take appointment? Sometimes in modern days it has become necessity, but otherwise, if you see, if you look at it in principle, it's not necessary. Just like that, Agni, allow me to reach that divine consciousness. That is how the Vedic rishis recognized Agni. In our Puranic traditions, in all our cultures, every day we light a lamp in the house. What is the purpose of that lamp? Maybe we are lighting an outer lamp, but we're also aspiring for the inner lamp to be lit, that realization. So this is the power of the Agni. This is the Agni, which is the Agni of knowledge also. This fire of knowledge burns everything, means nothing remains in front of them. When you don't know some things, you are confused, isn't it? People can manipulate you, people can further confuse you, people can make you feel insignificant and weak, all of it when you don't know. But when you realize something and that truth comes, well, in front of that fire, nothing can remain, isn't it? That is the fire of knowledge, that is the fire of realization. Bhasmasat kurte. It makes everything else just burns to ashes in front of that realization. And even a beginner can experience that. A beginner who has learned his principles and whatever fundamentals strongly can challenge a master, isn't it? Do the principles change? They do not change. But that is important. That realization is first to be aspired for, and then it has to be got. So Krishna goes on, he says, Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitram miha vidyate tat swayam yoga sansiddhi kalenatmani vindati. More immaculate than this, there is nothing. Krishna is telling Arjuna, there is nothing in the world that is more immaculate or more perfect or more pure than this. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram miha vidyate. More immaculate than this, there is nothing. Then the radiance of knowledge's unadulterated light. He who has integrated the yogic principles in everything attains in himself the true self's insight. This is it's a definite cause and effect. 100% guarantee of this consequence. Integrate the principles of yoga into your life. Realization has to come. This is what Krishna is saying. Tat swayam yoga sansiddhi kale natmani vindati. It is so simple as that. It's just a consequence. Experience, live, and practice. Then watch till the transformation happen. Krishna says transformation is bound to happen. Whether or not you realize it, it will happen. Just focus on it. Now comes the beautiful part. Again, Shraddha is introduced. The concept of Shraddha comes in front of us. In some shlokas, we will see Shraddha is like some kind of a in games, we used to have something called cheat codes, which will suddenly give you powers to play in God mode and all of that. We used to have when we were in school and college. Well, something like that. Shraddha is one such thing. Everywhere in the Gita, whenever we see Shraddha, Shraddha makes it, the sadhana is very simple. With Shraddha, the most, you can say, difficult or kathor sadhanas also can become very simple. So let us see what is Shraddha doing here. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tatparaha sayatendriyaha jnanam labdhva param shantim achirenadhikachati. It's a beautiful shloka. Let's just look once more at it. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tatparaha sayatendriyaha jnanam labdhva param shantim achirenadhikachati. He whose faith is strongly ordained, somebody's shraddha is druda, somebody's shraddha is firm, and control over senses, he who has attained, that person with his shraddha in the divine and has attained a full self-control, what happens to that person? He is by the supreme knowledge enlightened, and his ascent to absolute peace is ascertained. Just shraddha is allowing you, along with shraddha, couple it with atma sanyam, in control over your indriyas. Shraddha and control over indriyas will ensure you get the knowledge. It is so simple. Sometimes we get overwhelmed with the knowledge only. Knowledge seems like a big mountain. I cannot cross this. I need certain skill set in the base which are missing. I'll never be able to get any realization, is what many people think. It becomes too daunting. But here Krishna says, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. You have the Shraddha, you have self-control, knowledge will come. But a big question comes, from where will the knowledge come? You have Shraddha in the divine and you have self-control.
From
Yes, Krishna is saying something.
the meaning of Shraddha, Shrad
Hmm.
and Dha. Shrad
Hmm.
is the knowledge of the one,
Hmm.
knowledge of the self, and
Yeah.
Dha is uh, the one who has the
Okay.
dharana of that, who
Dhara.
is
Who
yes,
is
who has
Dharan?
the
It comes
dharana.
from, yes, it's like a
Yes.
waterfall, isn't it?
So
Coming
that
from
is
where?
Shraddha. Shraddha is the knowledge.
Yes, yes. Knowledge is also called Amrita. Gita is called Gita Amrita. So this simple aspect of Shraddha is going to come from very directly from the divine. It's okay, you don't have the capacity. मेरा सॉफ्टवेयर ही खराब है, मेरा हार्डवेयर भी खराब है, no problem. Update will be done by the maker of it. You don't have to worry. Just focus on controlling yourself. Focus on purifying the Shraddha that you have. It's important. It's important to become first conscious of how your Shraddha is. First is whether you have Shraddha or not, you should realize. है या नहीं is the biggest question. Actually, everybody has it, but some experiences in life makes a person suddenly know, it just gets covered or cloaked. Then it's like a waterfall, I mean a fountain, no? It's like a fountain. A fountain is now blocked by stones. What will you do? Will you declare there is never any water? No, you remove the stones and then you watch the flow. That will start. And then the knowledge also comes. This is a very beautiful thing which Krishna says. This also shows one more interesting thing. A lot of people divide the Gita and the realization paths into three ways. The path of knowledge, the path of action, and the path of devotion. These are three different paths which are ultimately leading to the one divine. But this shloka shows one thing very interesting, isn't it? That it's not just like this, it is like a multiple paths which move intertwined. Without Shraddha, you will not receive knowledge also. Knowledge without Shraddha is like a dry knowledge. It is a dry intellectual knowledge without full realization. So it is again an important combination, and that is something we must understand, that maybe these three paths are not separate three paths. They might be a triple path of all three going together also. So this is one thing we see. And Krishna says, realization shall come. It is certain. Go on further. Agnyashcha shraddhadhanascha sanshayatma vinashyati nayam lokosti na paro Na sukham sanshayatmana. Opposite of Shraddha is what? Ashraddha. So what happens with Ashraddha? Krishna says something. I just want everybody to listen and let me know if Krishna is breaking his bearing and now cursing. Because so far we didn't see Krishna curse anybody. But this shloka is saying something about those who don't have Shraddha. The one who is faithless and ignorant, for whom neither this world nor the other is existent. By infinite doubts his mind is plagued, and by his own skepticism he is destroyed. I repeat once more, the one who is faithless and ignorant, for whom neither this world nor the other is existent. By infinite doubts his mind is plagued, and by his own skepticism he is destroyed. Hey Bhagwan, what has happened to Krishna? He has also become like the other cult leaders and religious teachers who say, you don't follow my truth, I'll curse you, you'll go to hell, you are going to suffer. So many religions are there, isn't it? You don't recognize me, that means you are not only you, your next generations, your entire family, all such curses are put. Is Krishna also doing the same thing in this
No,
shloka? No?
no.
Why is it not?
Because I think he's telling about how your own pettiness will make you miserable. So you are actually being destroyed because of your own pettiness and being in
It's not a
the
curse. It is not a
mm,
curse that he is adding, is what Shwetaji is saying. Okay, Nishabhaji, you are saying something?
Yeah, it's not a curse. He's just stating a fact. Either you follow a certain path and reach knowledge and join with the divine. Otherwise, you will remain where you are and struggle and keep suffering. And that's just a fact of that's the way
Means
it
if you
is.
don't have faith, you don't have, what can you do without faith in the world?
Yeah.
Any collaborative work can be done without faith. Nothing, isn't it? Say I'm going to do some construction and I want some code from a friend. And he's given me a code. Somebody told me get it from him, he'll give you a good quotation. I've got that quotation, but then in my head, is he giving the right quotation? Is he overcharging me? Now what's going to happen? One doubt has entered. Shraddha is now shaken a bit. Now what's going to happen is I'm going to look different places. Ultimately, I'm going to conclude that my friend only is wrong because of the doubt. Whether or not the quote is true or no, it's an individual case. We cannot, it varies with people, it varies with market rates, everything. Forget all of that. But the doubts which come inside, that sometimes really destroy us only. Some of the best relationships are destroyed by doubts. To question is not wrong at all, but skepticism, that is a little bit going unnecessarily. It's like one has to seek and ask question. No, research methodology is all about questioning, isn't it? No scientific research can be done. Scientists don't even believe their own selves. They say, I just follow research methodology. I don't even want to be biased with my own hypothesis. Let the research methodology prove what is right or wrong, whether it's significant or insignificant. I will conclude in the end. That is fine. But when you are filled with doubts, then it is like that. It's like you'll see a thin rope in a dark room, it will appear like a snake, and you will have panic attacks and you will not sleep because you saw a snake in the neighboring room. But when next day morning you go and see there was no escape, there was no snake. So did the rope destroy my sleep? Or did my skepticism destroy my sleep? It is my approach, my doubt. So a person who has no Shraddha will not have Shraddha in divine. Will that person have Shraddha in the world then, if not in the divine? So no Shraddha in divine, there is no God, there is no world also. What is this world? I live, I exist with my senses. When my senses stop functioning, I cease to exist. There is nothing more than that only. So the person's approach becomes myopic, and the doubts keep plaguing such a person, is what Krishna is saying. The doubts do not end. So these doubts destroy the individual. Krishna is not going to come in like, hey, you didn't tell my name. I'm going to get upset. Nothing of that sort. So, yes, we can safely conclude Krishna is not cursing anyone. That's not there in the Gita. There's no order, there's no direct instruction from Krishna that you must do this. Everywhere he says, you can do this if you want to do this. If you do this, this happens. If you do this, this will happen. That's all he says. Let's continue. Yoga sanyasta karmanam gnana sanchinna sanshayam atmavantam na karmani nibadhnanti dhananjaya. O Arjuna, he who has above doubts risen and sacrificed all, desiring nothing for himself, is no more bound in karma's prisons, for he has attained a true knowledge of the self. I repeat this once more. So, this is interesting. For Arjuna, Arjuna's perspective is filled with doubt only, isn't it? What is going to happen with this? There's no, he lost his Shraddha in his own, in the war, in the principle, or everything. So he started questioning. He started questioning in every direction. We saw Arjuna getting destroyed by his own skepticism. Until that moment came where he had to face who he's fighting. He was ready. He had full clarity. He knew very well these are the wrongdoers. I want to see the people who are supporting the false mind of Duryodhana. And then when one doubt entered, second doubt, oh my God, no, 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 my teacher cannot be wrong. No, 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 this person cannot be like this. Oh no, I am going to do like this. No, no, I really wanted to get wealth. That's why I took part in this battle. Krishna also wanted wealth. These are all doubts which play. The mind keeps playing games. This we must understand that we should not become the victim of our own mental games. That is something, and doubts have that power. So Krishna says, somebody who has risen above doubts. Who is that? Well, the person who has sacrificed everything. Swaha Agneya Swaha Agneya Dhanna Mama. Everything has been offered. If everything has been offered to the divine, what's going to happen? Can I lose anything when I have given everything up? It is like a beautiful, there's a story of a beggar who was sleeping very nicely every day. And the rich man would see that and he would not sleep because he was worried. He thought, okay, fine, he's at least happy. Let me give him some money. And so he gives him some money to keep at his place. And that's it. This beggar lost, though the money was not so much, but in his mind, the doubts, what if somebody steals? I better make some arrangement. He kept it safe. But no, no, what if my wife only thinks I have to take it and use it for somewhere else? No, not that. So 100,000 doubts came in his head and he lost his peace of mind. Because we are afraid of losing things, we have doubts. Let's forget everything. Nothing is ours. Can we own our relationships? No. What's there to doubt? What can you say if you will get a realization, isn't it? Whether a person is trustworthy or not trustworthy. Eventually, you are going to find out. It will come out in the open, and when it comes, you can deal with it. But one thing you must always understand that you are not in control. Let it go. That is the simplest thing. That cannot be done until we hold on. Always we hold on, we'll never be able to let go. But the one who has sacrificed to the divine, Krishna Panam, it's all right. I'll offer to the divine. Maybe I've been cheated, maybe I've been duped, maybe I've been dumped. It has hurt me, I don't like it, but it's all right. I offer to the divine. Let the divine will be done. Maybe through this, Nachiketas was willing to go to Yama. He said maybe Yama wanted to achieve this for through something through me going at this young age and by my father's will. So I will go to Yama, he says happily, because he is conscious of the divine. So this aspect, let us offer everything. Krishna says, when you have offered to the divine everything, you've sacrificed all, you have nothing to lose at all. You are no more bound by karma's prison because you have now attained a true knowledge, a true knowledge. So to sacrifice everything also you must realize the presence of the divinity. Until you realize the presence, you will not be able to fully sacrifice. You will be doing it in bits and pieces. That's also fine. It's not wrong. But the complete sacrifice is a complete different thing, a different game. Maybe Arjuna is going to understand it because now surrender is going to get complete, isn't it? Krishna is very nicely explaining. Let's continue the last shloka of this adhyay. He says, Krishna says this. Sometimes I feel a little bit jealous for Arjuna because Krishna is so beautifully advising him and he's Uttishta Arjuna, Uttishta, rise, rise, rise Arjuna. Imagine if the divine is only trying to make you rise up. That's exactly what he does in this shloka. Tasmad ajnana sambhutam Rajtham jnana sinatmanaha Chitvainam sanshayam yogam Attishtottishta bharata. Krishna says this. Chitvainam sanshayam yogam Attishtottishta bharata. Rise, rise. He says, use a weapon of knowledge. For what? For cutting everything, all those unnecessary attachments, all those incomplete understandings, all of it. Krishna says, therefore, this ignorance that your heart has borne, let its veil be shred and torn. With the saber of knowledge, besiege its disguise. O son of Bharat, attain the union, awaken and arise. I repeat this once more. Krishna says, therefore, this ignorance that your heart has borne, let its veil be shred and torn. With the saber of knowledge, besiege its disguise. O son of Bharat, attain the union, awaken and arise. This is what Krishna is saying to him. Arise, O Arjuna. What is the ignorance inside of your heart? Well, it is nothing, he says. This heart is being covered by this, what we can say, like a Mayavi veil of your emotions has come. Tear that. With what? Knowledge is a weapon, Krishna is saying. Use knowledge. This is like a sword. With this sword, cut all of this. Cut this veil, this disguise which is making you feel you are weak, which is making you forget your own strength. Rise up is what Krishna says. Attishtottishta Bharata. With this, we complete the fourth adhyaya and we enter into what is the fifth adhyaya of the Gita. I remember many participants had shared that Arjuna will not understand anything. Earlier, he had got 2 out of 10, 4 out of 10, and 5 out of 10. Now, what do you think Arjuna is? How is Arjuna? Is he going to understand better? What do you think? Anybody? If you want to, on a scale of 10, will there be any improvement for Arjuna's performance? Yes, anybody? What would you say on a scale of 10? Yes, please. Kalaji.
I think it's still a dance between
It is? How much? How much will you give?
from zero, it's perhaps one now or a little less than one.
One.
Still,
Okay,
still
that's
a
quite a
dance,
strict teacher.
jumping from
Kalaji
here
is
to
a
there.
strict evaluator. Okay, so 0 to 1. All right, anybody else?
I mean, it could go back to zero also, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay,
Again, it's just but still
okay,
a
all right,
jumping in and
fine.
out.
So that is the evaluation of Kalaji. I'll come to Kalaji once just to understand why it may go back to 0. But Nidhi yes, please.
I think it's 6 upon 10.
Okay, 6. Rashna ji has written
Actually, I
5.
have
Yeah.
certain doubts myself, like
Okay.
for karma and result, like we are
Yeah.
supposed to leave the results to God, and we have to do
Yes.
every action is supposed to be in
Like
His
an offering. Like an
offering to
offering.
Him. Like, but sometimes you say, for an example, you meet an accident, or someone else
Yeah.
meets an accident, okay,
Yeah.
and you are feeling guilty. You stand there, you call the PCR, and you do everything, but still you
Why
are
guilty?
taken. Maybe you just had a nap, or
So
you missed the
you
opportunity.
were
There
not
was a
able to
blind
prevent it
spot.
from happening. You were
Yeah,
able to
there was a
prevent.
blind
Okay.
spot in the driving, and that's why
Okay.
you are feeling guilty that why the other person had the injury, whatever. I could have prevented it.
Yes.
But the
Yes.
police comes, it takes you, you are in the prison. So,
Yeah.
how can we attribute this action to God? Or we can think like this
Uh-huh.
was that
Okay.
person's wrongdoing, which was a result, or my wrongdoing,
One thing is about another person's wrongdoing, it is best for us to not look at or
not
comment
get
because we
into
really
it. Yeah,
don't know. We can't.
yeah.
But let us also understand we are not in control of everything in the universe. We will see later in the Gita, Krishna says something about little mistakes, we don't have to be so harsh on ourselves. Na hum karta har hi karta. Something is happening. Sometimes it will not happen exactly as per my will. I will not understand. Sometimes things happen in our life. We don't know why they're happening today. Maybe 10 years later, it might understand. I have a friend who told me, gave me the surprise. She said, I thank God for the cancer that I got. I was mind blown. Well, it was a perspective which came in hindsight. So sometimes we keep some things in abeyance because if we hold on to this, no, that we hold on to guilt like that, it leads to what we call moral injuries. That haunts us. That haunts us not once, not twice, and especially in the case of soldiers. No, it is this concept of moral injury is there. I had a chance to work with a neurologist and a psychiatrist. We published a research paper on during COVID-19 healthcare workers and moral injury. But originally, this concept was come to soldiers. That is where it was coined, where in the battlefield they have to take quick decisions, and sometimes then
Oh.
they feel that guilt and then regret. It leads to post-traumatic stress disorders and other things. So coming to terms, Gita helps. Gita helps. We will see certain principles. So one thing is not to carry the guilt. Not to carry the guilt. Mistakes, we are human, isn't it? We have not taken birth as avatars yet. So it's okay. Some mistakes can happen. If we have done some mistake also, holding ourselves guilty is not really the thing. Krishna has told, the depth, the flux of karma is very deep. It is like deep and dense like a forest. We can't really fully understand certain things, why they happen. But maybe this part we can remove and let us see a little bit later what is Krishna's idea on this. How many things? What about mistakes? How do we deal with imperfections? How do we deal with many imperfections in us, in the world?
If we
Means there is
don't do
something called
mistakes,
vikar. Yes, Saritaji?
if we don't do mistakes, how do we know then what is right and what is wrong?
Oh, that's also a wonderful attitude, isn't it, Saritaji?
So mistakes teach
Yes,
us to
yes,
distinguish
yes,
between right
absolutely.
and wrong.
Yes, yes, yes. And it's absolutely, and we don't have to hold on to them. Instead, we have to learn from them. Like one staff I keep in the factory, I used to, at least I changed after some time, but after many years though. But I used to keep telling, what is this wrong? Why have you done this? Why have you done that? And she used to get very annoyed. And I just went and said, why are you making so many mistakes? Like, I don't know. And I said, that's because you're doing work. And she was like, yes, the other people are not doing work, so they're not making any mistakes. The chance of growth will not happen. But let us, we just the simple principle is not to carry guilt. We can see anybody can get transformed. If at all we are culpable also and we have done something which we could have avoided, maybe out of laziness, because of anger, because of any of those, at least let us first come to terms with it. If we think we are responsible, recognize it, it's wrong and don't repeat it. That's the best thing you can do. But if we carry guilt, it will be on the back of our mind and it can, manifest into something else later on. Yes. So you have given five, isn't it? Six. Is it Nidhi? Okay, six. Anybody else after Nidhi? Then we'll go back to Arjuna because Arjuna is showing his report card as usual. Shwetaji, yes, please.
Uh, 4 or 5, if I put myself in place of
Okay,
Arjuna, where I am is 4 or 5. So,
four or five. Okay,
yeah.
I'll just come to Kalaji and try to understand why she evaluated back to. Okay, Shobhaji wants to add something. Yes, please. Yes,
Nothing.
please.
I started with 9 and I went to 7. Now I think I've come to 4.
You also come to four. Okay.
Backwards, backwards.
Okay, yes, Kalaji, what is this? Why I think this trend is there, Arjun. I'm not
It's a reflection
soliciting.
of our own ignorance, I think.
Okay. All right. Kalaji, why 1 to 0
The
again?
mind is so chanchal.
Yeah, okay.
So
Uh,
that's my interpretation
understand.
of the whole thing, because in
Okay.
a day, even I can go from 0 to 100. You see.
Okay,
So
lovely.
let it
Okay.
go.
But one
But
small
somewhere,
question.
oh no, why?
Yes. One small question, Kalaji. Have you read the Gita before?
The children's version I
No,
have.
not the shlokas, isn't it? Not
No,
the Sanskrit shlokas.
no.
There's a shloka you will see Krishna, Arjuna using the same word, Chanchala hi mana Krishna. So it's that's you have quoted exactly what Arjuna is going to say in the future. Let us
Okay.
see now. Let's see, we go into the fifth adhyaya of the Gita. where Arjuna is telling something to Krishna. Let us see. He's a very sincere student who will show his report card immediately to his father, something like that. Arjuna Uvacha. Sannyasam karmanam Krishna punaryogam cha shansasi yat shreya etayorekam tanme bruhi sunishchitam. Arjuna said, O Krishna, the virtues of renunciation, of actions you praise, and yet a union with the divine in all actions you raise. Of these two, which is best, please tell, which is the way that will augur me well. He says, one side you are telling Krishna that you have to renounce your actions. You are talking about, you are praising the very aspect of renouncing all your actions. And the other side, you are saying, get united with the divine and perform your all actions. Which is the, you can't tell both sides, is what he's saying. You speak any one. Don't speak on both sides. Which is the way that will augur me well. Yat Shreya etayorekam. Tanme bruhi sunishchitam. He's saying, sunishchitam, tell me clearly. Don't get confused or don't confuse me. Tell me clearly which is the right way of these two. This is what Arjuna is saying. Isn't this a very valid question, though? He's introduced this concept. You have to renounce everything. And the other side, he says, perform, become one with the divine and perform actions also. Like, how do I do? Should I act? Should I not act? We're all aware of the binaries, isn't it? Dosti hai to katti. Not both sides. You can't have both. Something like that Arjuna has asked. Let us see. Let us see what Krishna says. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. संन्यासः कर्मयोगश्च निःश्रेय सकरावभौ तयोस्तु कर्म संन्यासात् कर्मयोगो विशिष्यते. Krishna says the path of divine action and the way of renunciation, both these lead to the ultimate liberation. But amongst all paths, if one were to choose the best, the way of divine union in activities is superior to the rest. I repeat once more. Sri Krishna watch it. Lord Krishna spoke. The path of divine action and the way of renunciation, both these lead to the ultimate liberation. But amongst all paths, if one were to choose the best, the way of divine union in activities is superior to the rest. This is what Krishna is saying. Means the path of absolute renunciation, renounce everything to the divine. That is good. That is a path. That is also a path towards the divinity. He's not denying or negating it. And he says a path of divine action, performing actions in consecration to the divine. That is also a path. Both are going to ultimately lead to the ultimate liberation. But if you're asking me one, which is the best, which is Shrestha, which is better, or which is greater, he says here, it's also tougher probably. He says, but amongst all paths, if one were to choose the best, the way of divine union in activities is superior to the rest. This is what Krishna is saying. Divine union in activities. This is something which is superior. Um, Meditation is good, isn't it? Meditation is something which we really enjoy, some of us. If anybody has tried, has anybody tried meditating in some very beautiful natural sceneries? And yes, Kalaji says yes,
Yes.
isn't it? It's very beautiful. But how many of us have tried meditating in the house?
We all do.
Yes. Okay. Where would you prefer? Where is it
Ladakh.
easier?
Ladakh.
It's much more easier there, no? No sudden sound from somebody. Hey, have you done this work? What is this? Why are you sitting in one place? Why have you not done this? Or what is going on? Or so many such thoughts or activities. So it's very easier to meditate in a very quiet place where you are too withdrawn. Then there are no other distractions. But it is a greater challenge to meditate. And sometimes in homes, some homes are quite small. People running around all the time, so many things, outside sounds, this sounds, so many of them come. And yet, if you're able to meditate, isn't that Shrestha? Doesn't that imply that you have learned the art of meditating irrespective of the outer circumstance? Without the sanskar of the outer environment, also, you can connect with the inner divinity. That is something which is considered Shrestha. And that is what Krishna is also telling here. He says the way of divine union in activities is superior to the rest. Connected with the divine while performing everyday duties. That is tougher, but it is definitely greater, is what Krishna is saying. Krishna goes on further. He says, Jneyah sa nitya sannyasi, yo na dveshti na kankshati, nirdvando hi mahabaho, sukham bandhat pramuchate. A sannyasi can be thus defined, O mighty armed one, as he who holds attachments none, for he experiences neither desire nor dislike. Detachedly, he considers both to be alike. Krishna has given the definition of a sannyasi. If you notice, he is not saying that he must wear these colored robes, must have this centimeter beard or this long hair. Nothing of that sort has been mentioned. He is saying a very important principle. A sannyasi is that person who is having no attachments. That is the sannyasi. A sannyasi can be thus defined, O mighty armed one, as he who holds attachments none. For he experiences neither desire nor dislike. Detachedly, he considers both to be alike. Real sannyas is when you are not having any desires, when you are not having any dislikes, you have transcended them. They are not creating an impulse inside of you. Neither desire nor dislike. Let's continue further. Sankhya-yoga prathagbalaha pravadanti na panditaha ekamapya sthitaha samyak ubhayor vindate phalam. It is the children naive who thus consider and think that renunciation and liberated action are contrasting. For the wise can successfully operate with both in sync, and the results of such actions are everlasting. I repeat once more, just a moment. It is the children naive who thus consider and think that renunciation and liberated actions are contrasting. So Krishna says, Pruthak Balaha, the children, these kids, and don't be a child. When do we say that? When a person who is supposed to understand something is not understanding it. Because this is what kids are. It's like a kid who is thinking that renunciation and liberated action, they are not opposite. Arjuna, don't think that they are opposite. You can renounce all action and yet perform the same action with full liberation, like a Jivan Mukta. This is what Krishna is talking about. There need not be a fight or need not be opposites. For the wise can operate successfully with both in sync, and the results of such actions are everlasting. It's not a binary. Okay, Chitraji has reminded it's time up. I'll just maybe one more. I have 1 minute actually. So I'll try to go one more shloka and we'll just see 2 more minutes. We'll try to complete with the fifth shloka here. An important concept is coming in. So the wise can operate both with both in sync, and the results of such actions are everlasting. Meaning, when you do such actions, when you are performing liberated actions, they will lead to loka sangraha. They will be like some beautiful seeds that you have planted, which are going to bear fruits for a long time to come. Those will be the actions when you are doing it in a state of liberation, when you are consciously connected with the divine. Krishna says they need not be opposites. Many times we get trapped. Upanishads also talk about two ends. One end Vidya, another end Avidya. Well, the wise can actually reconcile with both the ends and realize the highest truth. It's not a compromise between this and the other. It's actually what we call reconciliation is also there. And liberated action, what we call the way of the Jivan Mukta. It is that only. The person is in the middle of activity, yet holding no attachments, no expectations. So outcomes are not disturbing the individual from performing the duties. Let's look at the last shloka. Yat sankhya prapyate sthanam तद्योगैरपि गम्यते एकं सांख्यं च योगं च यः पश्यति सः पश्यति. This is something which will keep coming. Yah pashyati sah pashyati. He who sees, he sees. Meaning who is able to see the truth. That person has understood it. That marma, that hidden principle, that simple principle, which is otherwise not really understood by most. Something in the open. Krishna says the same status which from renunciation may be won by a divine union in works can be reached with ease. For both renunciation and liberated actions are one. He who can thus see, he truly sees. If you see one thing, there's a pattern in what Krishna is saying. He is trying to remove all those divides in the head. Spiritual path, material path. Both have two eyes, two ears, one nose, whoever is walking on spiritual path also and material path also, isn't it? The world is one only, no, for everybody. Only if we are conscious, otherwise the spiritual path also people get trapped in their moho. Material path also. It is one. The division need not be there. That division Krishna is removing. Same thing is talking about renunciation also. Because many times people say, I am doing papa in this sansara by living a grihastha. Have you heard of this grihastha being papa? Anybody? Yes?
What was the second word? Grihasthrashram?
Grihastha is a sin.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of
That's,
people.
that's what was the second word you said there?
Papa, I said papa.
Papa,
Papa,
grihastha.
yes, yes. Papa has means sin. It is a Sanskrit word for sin.
Yeah.
Punyam and opposite of punyam is considered papa.
Grihasthrashram, Papam, I'm not.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people say, no, 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 this is sin. It is a sinful thing, but it is one of those decreed varnashramas also. And Krishna says something very interesting here. He says the same status which can be won by renunciation can be won with a divine union in works. It can be reached. Meaning, let's not think we are inferior. If we are also doing our life duties, it is all right. Let us not consider we are inferior or incapable of getting a realization. Krishna says that same realization which can be got maybe in the beautiful Himalayas also can be got in our homes as well while we are doing our duties. There's a very beautiful story of Yadha Gita. I think it was mentioned. It is Dharmaraj received that from sage Markandeya. There is a very interesting story of a yogi who has got a lot of ahankar. He has gone into the forest and done a lot of meditation and lot of tapasya, and with that tapobala, he got certain siddhis, certain powers. So once while meditating, the two birds are fighting. They disturb him. He just stares at them, and they get burnt by his siddhi. And then he finishes his sadhana, comes out, and he goes into the village nearby, and he asks for bhiksha. Om bhavati bhikshan dehi. And then there is a lady in that house. She says, wait, I'm just coming. I'll give you the, just, hey sadhu, namaskar, I will give it to you. But some time goes on. And again he repeats, Om Bhavati Bhikshandehi. Again he is called out loud. This, this time a little bit anger is visible in the voice. And this happens a third time. That time she comes running. She says, don't think I'm some bird you can burn just like that. I was doing my duty only. I'm coming in. She offers. He is shocked. He is so shocked. How can this person who is in Grihastha Ashrama understand what Gudha sadhana I did? What is the rahasya in that forest? How did she know? She says, my guru taught me this. Now he's more curious. I need to find that guru. How did this lady have the siddhi? According to him, this, she is not supposed to possess it. So maybe the Guru's kripa. So let me go and see the Guru. And then he goes the place where she's told is actually the place of a butcher. He gets even more confused. And that is how the interesting story of Vyada Gita is. You can probably get into the details of it. I just gave a very abridged and a very short version of it. A better one would be to get it from the original. But the principle there was this only, that it can be got by everybody. It can be got by everybody. We don't have to think we are sinners or we are product of sin. We are guilty. We are doing this. We are doing that. So we are not worthy. It's not that at all. We have to aspire. If we aspire, we can receive. That is a simple thing. Whether it is a yogi or who is living in a yogi, can be in the grihastha ashram also. A yogi can be a sannyasi living separated from the world also. It does not have to discriminate. Nobody is, it's not a competition that one is greater than the other. Same way, one is not inferior than the other also. That is one thing which is very interesting. Krishna says, and this is a principle. Yaha pashyati, saha pashyati. Somebody who can see it truly sees. I think with this we conclude the session. I have overshot by 5 minutes. Yes, please. If anybody can share some of the shlokas, if any takeaways, or if anybody wants to ask something, you are also welcome.
So I have a question. While I was reflecting, I feel like yes, renunciation and the divine action, like divine union in activities is better, but isn't it a stepping stone? Like, like while you are in the journey, like you don't know, like nothing can be taught. So, like, like small baby steps, may like you have to,
Yeah,
because detachment from senses. And so to reach this understanding, or not to understanding, but to realize it, the stepping stone is like to go through, like, small pockets of renunciation, or like it will
yes,
help,
yes. But in
no?
the renunciation, it should not be a rigid
No,
renunciation,
no.
because Gita is not calling for a rigid asceticism. Otherwise, Arjuna would have been told कि बेटा चले जाओ वहां पे बढ़िया ध्यान होगा. Don't fight.
Hmm.
But Gita is asking us to face this. The world, it's a contrast of the world, isn't it? High ideals, high principles, and a world which refuses. Your morals are having no value here. The world is trying to crush you for standing for certain principles and morals. Will you
Hmm.
fight or will you run away? So you cannot run away from that fight. That is all it's talking about.
Hmm.
But these are ideals. It will take time. It takes time. I mean, even renunciation, surrender, all these things,
Yeah,
they
surrender,
take
no?
time. Slowly, slowly it happens. Shanahi, shani, but need not be shanahi also. If there are some cases of yogis, Bala yogis also at young age, or in Kumara Sambhava, I think there's a beautiful word. Dharma vruddheshu vayana samikshate. Age is not a factor for those who are ahead on the path of dharma. So it may take, they say tapa is of a sannyasi is said to be 12 years. People do tapasya for 12 years, and they are said to have completed one tapa, and by that one tapa they experience certain extra, it is understood or it is believed that they receive certain realizations when they finish. And the expert yogis talk about multiple tapas. I finished 3 tapas. They will say, acha beta tum chote ho, I have finished 4. So it is not like that,
Exactly.
but that does not mean that the realization that a yogi got from one tapa, another person will get from one tapa only. What can one somebody got from 12 years can be got within 12 months, 12 days, 12 moments. It depends on the individual. It varies with everyone. But we must understand that nothing has to be rushed. What is realization will come. Fire burns, you will see the light. We don't have to worry about it. But we must understand the potential. Yes, Ji.
No,
Kalaji
what I
wanted to
mean
say?
is, can
Yeah,
I just add, like, when we
yeah.
say, na, like, we have to put everything in the fire of purification. So that is part of renunciation. And then from that, from
Yes,
ashes, when the, like when the
yes,
phoenix rises, that can
yes,
do this work, like, which is
yes,
divine
yes,
union. So
absolutely. Yes, Ji,
that's what
yes,
I
Ji.
meant. Yeah.
Agreed. Yes, Ji, absolutely. Rightly said, Shwetaji. Yes, Kalaji is saying something? Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to ask, when we talk about Grihasthashram Papam, it's not similar to where Christianity says we are all born out of sin.
Yeah,
No,
no,
right?
that's
That's
a
different, right?
It's not, it's actually, that is a similar way we are describing it as Papa. The scriptures don't talk about it though. Sanatana Dharma does not talk about it. It's a
Yeah, yeah,
distortion. It's a distortion.
yeah,
Because we are Amritasya Putra. We are not children of sin. We are
yeah,
children of an immortal consciousness. We are not to be, that's not how we turn to the divine out of guilt or out of fear. We turn with love and adoration. So yes, you have rightly pointed
yeah.
out,
And
Kalaji.
one more thing, when you gave that story just before that, going to the butcher, what Gita was that? I didn't
Vyadha
catch.
Gita. Vyadha,
Yeah,
Vyadha. Yes,
yeah.
Vyadha if you want in English too. You can
Thank
find it
you.
online, Ji.
Yeah,
Yes, Ji.
thank you. Thank you.
Mariam, thank you, Ji. So I think if anybody would like to add one or two takeaways, or we conclude with the Shanti mantra. Takeaways for the day? Anyone? Yes, anybody?
May I please?
Yes, please, Payal
Yeah, my grandmother used to say that Grihastha ashram, when we are in Grihastha, so this is also a puja. So she
Sorry?
taught us. It's Grihastha ashram is also like a
Yeah, yes,
can
So wonderfully
give us the
said.
opportunity to do our duties, and that is puja.
Yes, yes. Every
So
action can become a chance of offering. Adi Shankaracharya, who was himself a sannyasi, how beautifully he said, Yad yad karma karomi tadakhilam shambho tavaradhanam. Every karma becomes an opportunity of offering to the divine. Yes, Payalji. Yes, all right. I think with this, if nobody else wishes to add anything, we will conclude with the Shanti mantra. Hari Om. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् हरि ओम तत्सत् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम नमस्कार
Hari
पुनर्मिलामः
Om. Thank
हरि ओम
you.
जी थैंक यू जी
thank you so
नमस्कार
much.
Thank you.
थैंक यू जी
Namaste.
Thank you so
नमस्कार
much.
Hari.
थैंक यू जी
Thank you.
थैंक यू जी
Thank you.
नमस्कार